Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. This is somewhat of a music documentary, but not really. I kind of wanted to talk about the downfall of Chrisette Michele, and I'm also going to talk about Mary Mary's Tina Campbell in this video as well. But first starting with Chrisette Michele, I believe that there were a lot of things that really took a turn in her career, especially this year when she decided to perform at the president's inauguration. But before that happened, Chrisette did have some highs in her career. She started off very strong 10 years ago with her first album. She had the support of Jay-Z, Nas, and people like will.i.am. She won a Grammy for her singing and songwriting, and she also had several hits on the R&B Billboard charts.
If I had my way, hooked on. Things are just about over being your girlfriend. Baby boy, it's all in what you do. And be a quitter, I'm still a winner. Oh, just a couple of forever.
In attempts to boost her music career, Chrisette Michele did join R&B Divas LA, and even though she had some struggles with record sales, her songs were playing on the radio, she was still invited to perform at events, award shows, and she still had a fan base that were willing to see her on tour. However, Chrisette Michele made the bold and unwise move to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration ball. Her decision to do this invited tons of backlash, to the point that Chrisette's name almost withered away into oblivion. Chrisette went on a media tour to defend her decision to perform for Trump, stating that she, being a black woman who's a Democrat, felt prompted to perform solely so America can see diversity.
If we're supposed to be the people who shake the world with our art, then we've got to stand on stages where we're uncomfortable and tell our truth. I was so excited to be able to show what we look like, who we are, and what we've got to say on that stage.
Were you feeling?
Unfortunately, her statements invited even more backlash, to the point that Spike Lee called her out, and many people in the black community were calling her a coon. But the interesting thing is, Chrisette did not even vote for Donald Trump.
Who did you vote for?
I didn't vote for Donald Trump. There are a group of people. Positive.
Okay.
She only performed for the opportunity and the business connections.
The way I sang for Barack Obama was for free. You know, this was a business deal.
Her whole perspective on the situation was not embraced.
I want him to know what we have to say, what we think.
Hey, with that said, just because you perform at the inauguration don't mean they respect you.
Notice you haven't heard much of Chrisette Michele this year. You haven't seen her invited to any award shows. You haven't heard anything about her. However, Chrisette broke her silence on Instagram and revealed what she has really been going through. She revealed that she had suicidal thoughts. In a long post, she said, "People ask me how I'm so positive after all I've been through. When you're laying in bed naked next to a bottle of Bacardi and Xanax, when you wear pajamas morning and night, when you don't pick up the phone for weeks, months, when you're afraid to look at social media. I know I've sown positive seeds. I know I've lifted people. I know I've been a part of community activations and black empowerment. When a community sticks its middle finger up at you and completely forgets everything you've ever done, you're worthless. You've just spent 10 years kicking your own butt to be there for everyone, and suddenly no one is there for you? I don't need to be here. And when you've drank so much you can't see clearly, and when your speech is so slurred you just can't stop speaking, you hope you don't wake up. Thing is, I know God. He was kind enough to soften the blow. I promise you, I felt him cover me like a blanket. I told him I was out of control. I told him I was having thoughts about leaving and not finishing all he's called me to. He listened. Therein lied my therapy. Music was written in this prayer closet of sorts. Dialogue with God. Call me crazy, but it's better than being dead. There's no one who will make me apologize for shouting from the rooftops that I have the overcoming story of a powerful and strong black woman. Chrisette also discussed being dropped from her record label. She said this, "If social media wanted to pull me down, I guess they succeeded as it pertains to Capital and Caroline Records. I complete an entire album and my label decides to walk away from me. Capitol Records, when I was quiet for a few days, I go into the studio and literally poured out my heart and soul, and the label decides to walk away from me. It's one thing to be a strong black woman. It's another thing to be a strong black woman who has to fight against the worst odds. I went from someone being revered and loved to facing putting out an album in the worst climate of my musical career. No victims here, I get it, but absolutely human here. How hard can you try to break someone? How hard can you try to ruin someone? How much hate do you need to spew to show me you want to see my demise? I won't stop. Strong black woman. Chrisette also revealed even more personal information, that she had a miscarriage. She said, "You don't have to be a celebrity to fall, to fight, to struggle. Pain is universal. I went into the gym and trained like a bodybuilder to try and push past the pain I was feeling. I'd run up the hill and lift weights heavier than strong men. I cried my way through workouts. My trainer would cheer me up. God bless him. I pushed so hard and ate so much protein, I scarfed away my hurt. My old habits of binge eating disorder began to show themselves. Drinking may be nothing but water for a day after a heavy intake. My trainer didn't know it, but he was feeding the demon that covered up hurt with food. I had a long cycle. Something came out of me. It was my child, the one my love and I worked so hard on. I never knew I could allow myself to be so broken that my physical body would break down. A miscarriage? Me? This experience of a broken nation showed itself in my own physical body. That was when I knew I had to pull it together, heal, forgive. Just because I had a negative experience didn't mean I had to become negative and broken. When I lost my child, I knew that it was time for me to become a strong black woman. Chrisette's testimony really did touch me, and you never really know what people go through behind the scenes. And you never really know how much negative comments can affect somebody. Her performing for Trump was not the wisest career move. Even though she did not vote for him, it still made it seem as if she was supporting him. Now, I kind of see this happening to Tina Campbell from Mary Mary as well. However, Tina Campbell is a little different. She actually admitted that she did vote for Donald Trump because he appealed to her Christian values.
I chose based on my faith, and it appealed to my Christian values more than the other candidate.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters.
It appealed to my Christian values.
I would bomb the out of them.
It appealed to my Christian values.
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Tina's comments came off as ignorant, and it shocked a lot of people in the gospel community because there's really nothing Christian about Donald Trump at all. And the months of him being in office has been completely chaotic. Tina seems nonchalant about the backlash of her supporting Trump. However, it has been affecting her career. As a matter of fact, she had a tour with her husband Teddy, but the tour was completely canceled altogether ahead of time because of poor ticket sales. Now, this is not common for somebody of Tina's stature. She's from a very popular gospel group called Mary Mary, and gospel fans support gospel artists. They go to their shows. So the fact that she had to cancel her tour was a big indication that people are not rocking with her. And interestingly enough, Tina was set to be the breakout star of Mary Mary, but due to the fact that her husband had infidelity issues, she took a break from the music industry altogether. Whereas Erica Campbell flourished in her career to the point where she no longer needs Mary Mary. And it's a relief to many that she's definitely not a Trump supporter.
I disagree with almost every decision the man is making, but I still pray for him.
I'm praying for impeachment. That's what
Yes,
I'm praying for. I just don't think he's equipped for the job.
Now, Chrisette Michele took the time to reach out to Tina Campbell, noticing her impending demise as well. She said, "Tina, you've lifted up so many hearts, shared your very personal story to let women know that they aren't alone in their struggles and obstacles. You've come through a bumpy relationship and showed us what forgiveness truly looks like. You're not alone. While hot water surrounds any political choice, I know you followed your convictions. You thought from your Christian perspective, sticking to your roots was the way. While I don't support Trump, I support your cry of love over the years. Your music has brought me closer to the Father and healed my heart from the first time you sang. I stepped on the stage to sing before a crowd I didn't agree with, having the intention to heal, unify, be a voice. And we can disagree without dividing. We can love each other with different views and perspectives. We can't tear each other down when people don't say what we want them to. It's so important that choices begin conversations and not crucifixion. Adults do this thing I like to call choice shaming. It mimics what children do with bullying. It causes a silencing that mutes the people who have made great contributions. I pray that your next steps in life are full with conversation amongst the greatest minds and compel a more peaceful and unified space for all of us to live in with our very own convictions. If the cause is to lift up the name of our Father, love, unity, and peace, I'd sing with you on any stage, just like I did with our brother Travis. Strong Black woman with a unique perspective and her very own voice. Peace be with you. All right, y'all, comment down below and tell me what you all think about this. Chrisette Michele does have a new song called Strong Black Woman. If you want to check it out, please do. Also, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and share if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!